Welcome to another episode. In this one, I'll be discussing about difference between a project manager and a product manager. In recent times, that is over a period of 5 years, we keep hearing about product managers, and the opportunities also is growing on the product manager side. For decades, we have been hearing about project managers. So what is the difference between a project manager and a product manager? So if you're a kind of a consultant or a budding engineer, particularly in a software field, it's good to know what is the difference between a project manager and product manager. First, you need to understand the difference. That is where I made the presentation. And more importantly, if you're not subscribed to my channel, do subscribe to my channel so you can get more career advices, more information on technology aspects and other related aspects on economy and so on and so forth. So now coming back to the subject of this presentation, that's project manager and a product manager. So first you need to understand the terms. What is a product? A product, we know it's an item that satisfies a need to a particular group known as the target market. So take for example a mobile phone. Now you have smartphones and the rate varies. Suppose if it is something like more than 1 lakh of rupee, then the target segment is different. Whereas if it is something like 5 to 10 or 15,000, the target segment is different. So that's where, like, a product is an item that satisfies the need of a particular group and also known as the target segment. So which means within the mobile phone itself, there could be different segments as well in the target market. So you know that is the understanding you need to have of a product. So product is an item. So product can be anything from a software to a car, and in our example we took a smartphone. So even service such as consulting, each product goes through a product life cycle from development to market test and ultimately a release of the product. And most common is of course the software product, because now the software product, it's all I would say 60 to 70% of them are on the cloud. So it's now becoming more common that the product team wants to have a product manager because it's all cloud based applications are developed. So once you put on the cloud, instead of installing them, you can use it as such, because in the on-premises system you do an install, whereas in the cloud it is already there, you just go and use it. So end of the day, product is an item that satisfies need of a particular group. That is the understanding you need to have as far as the product is concerned. So now coming back to a project. Project, and on the other hand, is a collection of tasks to accomplish a specific goal within, this is important, within a timeline, budget and cost. So timeline is a schedule, budget, within that budget you need to accomplish that. Budget is of course the cost. Actually this needs to be schedule, timeline, budget, that is cost, and the other one is schedule, that is what is considered as, they refer it as TCS, that is timeline, cost and schedule. Project should have outcomes and deliverables which can be anything from a website revamp to a new internal process. This is an important point. Project is unique, but it could be repeatable. Repeatable in the sense, not again, it's not just like repeatable as manufacturing same model of car multiple times, then it is operations. So like example, you could be a construction of a building or construction of a bridge, road bridge. Though it is unique, it could be repeatable. There could be some kind of a custom requirement of a bridge or a building which is all customizable. So learnings can be used in another project. So learnings can be used in the subsequent project. So that is an important point. Again, this is an example. If you look at an enterprise resource planning, which is a software tool, enterprise, you would have heard Oracle ERP, SAP ERP, this is all product. But when you want to implement to a customer, then it has to be implemented through a project life cycle, because you have a product, could be an SAP product, SAP ERP product, or it could be Oracle ERP product. But then when you implement to a customer, it is through a project, because there are features and some customer might want that feature, and some customer want to tweak that feature, and some customer may not want that feature. That is where there is going to be a configurations needs to happen on the ERP product. So that's where it takes time and effort to implement that specific ERP product to a customer, and then it is considered as a project. So now I hope you understood this difference. So there are other differentiators also, we'll see that. So let's look at the differentiators, having understood what is the product and a project, and from a project manager and a product manager perspective. So description, oversee all the products needs and how the development process goes, that is the product manager. Whereas the project manager, because you are going to implement it, it is all as assigning tasks towards completion, implementing tasks towards the configuration, how you are going to configure, what is the need for it. So that is the first one as far as the description is concerned. And then comes the focus. You have a product strategy as far as the product manager is concerned, how to make the product successful. So you might include certain features in the first release, and you would then fine tune and add features in the subsequent release, and that is as far as the product manager. Whereas the project manager, it is more of a work coordination and the execution of the project. So that is as far as the difference on the focus is concerned. Then the task. What are the task difference? You gather the feedback from the customer and then create a roadmap and then prioritize. Maybe in the first release, I'll have these 10 features and then release it, and the subsequent you keep updating. It's common in the Android phone, the features gets added in any of the phones, Android phones. That is where it will ask you to update your phone software. So that is what, again, that's just an example. So that's where it's a product. Whereas the project manager, it is more of a coordinate and ensure that the scope, schedule and cost is adhered upon. So that is as far as the project manager goes. And success of a product manager is the product outcome, and it is acceptable in the market. Whereas the project manager, project outcome, track risk and meet the business objective. Methodology, as far as the product manager is concerned, they use generally they use the agile methodology, where you might have heard about the Scrum methodology, where you have the team which is involved in building up the product based on the sprint and based on something called as a product catalog. So basically agile methodology is used in building up the product, particularly in the software product, whereas in the project manager particularly it is between a customer, whereas the product is within the enterprise, because Nokia or for that matter Samsung could build a product. So it's just the particular company which builds the product. Whereas the project manager, it could be between a customer and a vendor. So not always the agile will help. And that is where the waterfall model, you gather the requirement and then based on the gathering of the requirement, and then you configure the product and then test out the product, and then finally do a final rollout and checking as well. So here it could be a waterfall model, or sometimes it could be an agile as well. So this is as far as the methodology is concerned. I hope by this you have a good understanding of the what is a product manager versus a project manager. Do comment on your understanding so that I can get back to you. Thank you. Have a nice day.